All right, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, people are going to start hopping on here shortly. We are just starting our broadcast off here. I'm just going to go right for it. This is something we call Breakfast with Disaster. We are live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for one simple reason. We want to tell you all the worst things that can happen so that you can avoid them. And why do we know what those things are? It's because we're SERVPRO. We're the people who clean those things up. And today I've got a pretty messy one for you. We're back to our regular scheduled programming. We have been deep diving into the Redfish project, and we're going to have some exciting updates coming up for you there, probably next week. But until then, we're coming back to what we call the disaster forecaster. And what this is we've been at this job for 26 years, cleaning up firewater, mold, smoke, biohazards, you name it, we've done it. And we've got all sorts of data about it. And from that data, we can take a pretty good guess at what's going to happen each and every month. We see patterns, we notice the patterns, we share them with you. And unfortunately, it's looking like June, and this is already shaped up to be true. The rest of June, especially, is going to be a little bit of a messy situation. Stinky. In June, we see about a 70% increase in sewage backups. Let me pause and say good morning to everybody who's hopping on. Devin, Lisa, Patty, Diane, Betty, Jackie. Hi, good to see y'all. Bad news, of course. We see about a 70% increase in the amount of sewage backup work that we do here at SERVPRO in June, typically. And that's exactly what it sounds like. That's water, probably mixed with waste products of some kind, backing right back up into people's homes and businesses, and basically contaminating everything they touch. And I mean really contaminating. Carpets coming into contact with the stuff, drywall, anything remotely porous is probably going to have to go. There's not really a way to clean it. And these jobs are usually as nasty as they sound because they combine that level of contamination with the urgency of your regular water damage. So now not every also we've got the risk of mold, microbial growth. You've got all of that contamination. You've got to deal with it fast. You've got to deal with it effectively, and you've got to deal with it completely to make that room kind of sanitary and safe again. And for your typical homeowner or your typical insured, usually costlier than your average water job, and definitely more destructive for those reasons. Despite all that, people typically are not really prepared for sewer backups, in my experience. Part of the reason for that, and I think the insurance agents here can probably attest to this, most people don't realize how much of that sewer line they're responsible for. The pipeline that runs from your city's like sanitary sewer into your home, it's called a sewer lateral, is your property. It's not the city's property. And if something happens to it, if there's a backup, if because it's damaged or something, it is not generally the city's fault. Or in the eyes of the law, it's not the city's responsibility to deal with that damage, to get involved with that damage, to repair that damage. That pipe, that lateral, and everything that's coming through it is the responsibility of the homeowner. The onus is on the homeowner to deal with the damage. Another thing people don't often realize, and again, insurance agents, you can back me up on this, your typical homeowner's policy doesn't really cover that pipe. Damage to that pipe, damage to that sewer lateral. It's not part of just your regular, I have water in my basement claim. There's a specific endorsement you can get, a specific type of coverage, and a lot of people throw that coverage out in an effort to save money. Those two pieces of ignorance. I'm struggling with my words, I guess, today. That's not really a phrase, but those two facts that people don't realize that sewer lateral is their responsibility, and two, they don't realize that they don't have coverage for it, can lead to these sewage backup projects being even more disastrous for folks than you might expect because they don't have insurance coverage or they have very minimal coverage on the damage, which turns out to be pretty costly. If that pipe is ruptured or something, not only do you have to deal with the backup into your home, you also have to replace the pipe. And that costs a heck of a lot of dough. I'm not a plumber, but I'm sure it's not an easy project. We've seen these happen more and more, and not just in June. And it's not just because it's not just because of these other issues we've identified. According to the Civil Engineering Research Foundation, and we'll look at this will come into effect in a minute here. Civil Engineering Research Foundation, they look at this stuff. They've noticed that about 3% every single year we see more and more sewer claims, sewage backups, pipe ruptures, etc. Big issue simply is, and that's why I picked this picture, houses and sewer lines are just getting older. The average sewer line in the United States is about 30 years old and only getting older. We're not really replacing them or maintaining them at an effective rate to keep that average down. So they're only going to get older, which means they're only going to see more issues. We've also seen more extreme weather, especially like heavy sudden rains, which it looks like we might get tomorrow. These things can overwhelm sewer systems really easily. And when your sewer system is overwhelmed, it's much more likely to cause a backup, a rupture, put more pressure on that lateral, and potentially cause a backup into your home or business. It's nasty stuff, and we see it more and more and more. These conditions lead to more ruptures, more sewage backups, more problems with the pipes. We're going to see this increase, and it is important, and again, shout out to the insurance agents, to have coverage on this because it's going to happen more and more and more. Fortunately, there are things that you can do, and I have this cute little dope panic here. There are things you can do to prepare yourself. They're not foolproof, but they can definitely help. Most of them are just routine maintenance. I'm sure, if nobody's told you this by now, I'd be concerned. Don't pour grease down your drain. That's one of the major reasons why these things happen. People don't treat their drains well. Their drains eventually back up. Grease, fats from cooking, things like that can solidify in the drains and cause all sorts of problems. Don't flush things that shouldn't be flushed, even if they say flushable. That's one of the most common causes of these sorts of issues that we see. It's not even really the lines rupturing, it's people flushing paper towels, all sorts of sanitary products that really shouldn't go down the drain, end up down the drain and clogging up pipes. Past that, it's just routine maintenance. The biggest rupturer of these sewer laterals is tree roots. If you know that your tree roots are potentially growing into your sewer pipeline, it's good to take a look at that. There are professionals who can actually come in and cut those roots back without killing the tree or taking the tree out and protect your sewer line. And if you ever do have to replace that sewer line, there are newer types of pipes, especially plastic piping. If you use those when you replace that line or you update that line, those are much hardier, much sturdier, and they're going to be a lot harder to rupture. Past that, just talk to your insurance agent. I mean, this sewer line coverage is becoming more and more common. I think a lot more people are talking about it, kind of treating it as a default. Generally, I think that's a pretty good thing. You want to be able to protect yourself from this, especially knowing it's increasing by 3% every single year, and certainly more here in June. And that's our disaster forecaster. Of course, this does not guarantee this will not happen to you, right? You can do all these things right, and you can still suffer all sorts of emergencies. That's just sort of the nature of the world. With sewage, I would implore you, don't mess around with it. It's one thing if you have a little bit of water in your basement from a supply line and you suck it up with your shop vac and maybe you're fine. Sewage is contaminated. It's not something you should be dealing with without PPE, without a respirator, without proper protection. If it's contaminating the things that are porous, like carpeting, drywall, anything that you own, may be impossible to ever get that stuff sanitary again, despite your best efforts. I implore you to call us, call a professional. They are going to know how to deal with this stuff. They're trained to deal with this stuff. It's not necessarily something you want to be messing around with. It's not safe. Anyway, time for the fun part, right? And I just want to say good morning to Kathy. Nikki, that looks like the Stranger Things house, does it? Maybe, I guess a little bit. Devin, Jen's with Devin. Hi, guys. We're going to do our prize drawing. So if you guys are new to this game here, this prize wheel, every single week we do a prize drawing for the SERVPRO Mug Club. If you're watching, you will get a double prize. So please comment, let me know that you're here. And if you're not watching, you're still eligible for the single prize, don't you worry. We've got all sorts of names on this wheel at this point. So I'm going to give you guys a second to say good morning. Let me know you're here. Mike Bloom, hi. And then I'm going to give it a spin. All right, let's do it. And hopefully I got my spinny sound on. Yes, I do. Let's go, let's go. Okay, low number here. 151. Jackie Hirsch. Jackie, are you on? I think you are. Not as Jackie Hirsch, but that's what I have her name in as the mug database. Yeah, Jackie, you won. Double prize for you today, Jackie. So I will give you a ring, or you can give me a ring. We will find a time to link up, maybe at the next Western New York Insurance Association meeting. We will have to see. And we will get you your double prize. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week. As always, 10:10. I think we're going to have another update on redfish. So stay tuned for that. Until then, hopefully nothing bad happens to you. If it does, you know who to call. See you guys.